Oh, friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Elizabeth, and this is The Joyful Sojourn, a community of people that love stationery and planning and doing things creatively on paper. And if that sounds like your kind of community, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. Today, we're doing a good old-fashioned battle of the fill in the blank. This is the battle of the stylus style stamps. That is stick type stamping for planners and journals. And I had to do this video when I saw that Cloth and Paper came out with stamp sticks. So if you're coming from the Cloth and Paper community, hello, my name's Elizabeth. And I do share Cloth and Paper stuff on my channel occasionally. And I also do a lot more kind of creative stuff with paper. So less of the minimalist design and more creative things. So I saw this advertised, and immediately when I saw the stamp sticks, I thought of LayleByMail, who created a stamping stylus years ago, along with different list builder stamps for the stylus. And I was like, okay, this is kind of the same thing, but a little bit different. I should compare them. And so I went ahead and bought the Cloth and Paper one. And then after I checked out, I realized I have another stick style stamp that I can do a comparison with from an Etsy shop. These are rubber stamps and they're a little bit smaller, but they're a similar thing. So we're going to compare all three. I went through my notes to see how much I spent on each one. So we're going to talk about price. We're going to test all of the Cloth and Paper ones out first, because this just arrived on my doorstep and I want to actually review this product. And then we'll compare it to things that are already out there and have been out there for a while. Full disclosure, I paid for everything here myself, but I am a LayleByMail affiliate. So I have a discount code with her. It's Joyful10, and I have an affiliate link with her. So obviously I love LayleByMail. And so I'm going to try to remove bias here because she created the stylus stick years ago. And so I want to give credit to her and show what she offers as an alternative. It actually is more affordable than the Cloth and Paper one, but I want to do my due diligence as a reviewer of products and see what I actually think about the Cloth and Paper one. So let's start with a review of the Cloth and Paper, and then we'll get into the actual comparison stuff. I pulled out my Archer and Olive notepad and my new favorite ink. I'm obsessed. This is the Legacy ink from Archer and Olive. They redid their formula. So I had to test these guys out with the Legacy ink in the color Espresso, which again, I've talked ad nauseum about this ink during their fall release. I have a discount code for them too. It's Joyful10, but this ink is so pretty. So I saw that Cloth and Paper did release ink pads. And if you're not in the creative community, the scrapbook community, the journaling or stamping community, it might be a good idea to try out the inks that they had. They look like they were Japanese made, and I always just feel like Japanese made stationery is great, but I have not tried the Cloth and Paper ones. They're little like 3x3 pads. I'm really happy with my Versa Dewdrops, the chalk inks in the smaller size. And then I also have, what are they called? I have the Distress Oxides, the mini pads as well. So I didn't need those. I didn't get those. So let's first open up my Cloth and Paper order, and we'll also talk about shipping time, because this was a surprise. I ordered this on Thursday when it released, and it arrived on Monday. So just a few days. And I feel like Cloth and Paper is inconsistent with their shipping times. I think it just varies based on time of year and the amount of stuff that they're selling. But I don't know if not a lot of people are purchasing them, but this arrived really fast. Like really fast. I was quite impressed. So when your order arrives, it's going to come in a cloth bag, which is always nice. I have several of these, and at this point, I just kind of give them away. Or if I'm gifting something to somebody, I'll throw the gift in this, and then I'm like, here you go. So if you have ideas for what to use these bags for, let me know. So it will come in a cloth bag, which is very luxurious, and then you'll get a little memento envelope. I have been loving these for storing smaller stickers. So keep your little envelope. It's going to say memento. The color does change. Right now they're in their red era. So depending on when you're watching this, you might get a different colored envelope. You get a information about their intention card, I guess. And then you get a sticker sample for the month. And I've never received these ones before. These are square stickers with letters on them, and they are transparent. So I always like getting free samples, especially of stickers. I'll either use them or I'll gift them. So I'm not mad at freebies. And I like how they fit in here. So I actually have a couple of these little envelopes in my like stationery pouch with stickers in them because they do fit quite nicely. And then I know if I don't want decorative type stickers, if I want to go more like minimalist vibes, then I know to go to the minimalist vibes envelope. And I will say, little plug for my channel, I found the perfect, absolute perfect cloth and paper sticker storage solution, and it will be coming to my channel very soon. So if you're a cloth and paper person, make sure that you are staying tuned because I'm going to do a video about sticker storage for specifically cloth and paper. Okay, now let's get to the stamp stick. So the component itself, very nice kind of minimalist design, which is what we expect from cloth and paper. White all the way around, just covered in maybe like a paper. And it just says cloth and paper on the front. It kind of reminds me, hold on, I'm kicking something down here. It's my cutting board. Let me move that out of the way. Actually, let's zoom in quite a bit. So it looks like a perfume bottle to me. So here's the component, and it's just going to sit on your desk. But that's actually quite nice. You can see the different little icons that are going to be on the sticks on the top, on the lid. And here are the sticks. So this just feels like cardboard, maybe cardboard wrapped in paper. And then you have your sticks, stamp sticks. So this is actually a perfect match. Let's pull one of these out. So here is our stick, and it's acrylic. We have the image of the stamp on one side so we can, reference it. And it looks like, kind of curious if it corresponds with, oh, there we go. Here it is. If the icon corresponds with the direction. So like the arrow is pointing down here and the arrow is pointing down here. So yes, that is coordinated. And this one's actually upside down. So you would think that you would go, based on this, you would go like this. But, oh, you know what? No, it's accurate. When we stamp it, we'll see that it's going to drop down. And, oh, look at this. We're discovering as we go. It does have the image on the top as well. That's nice. I was thinking we would have to like look down into the acrylic stick to see it. And you can see it, but they have it on the top as well. So I think they did a good job with the component itself when it comes to labeling the top, labeling the side, and then you've got your cloth and paper here. So these stamps are acrylic stamps. Now, acrylic stamps are a little bit more, this is what was kind of interesting for me. Acrylic stamps tend to be a little bit more, they're more affordable. They're a little bit cheaper in quality compared to photopolymer stamps. The material is more expensive. It's typically made in the US. So I was very surprised that they are acrylic sticks with acrylic stamps, and the component itself, I got all the prices. We're going to compare all three. The whole thing was $40 plus $10 shipping. So to get this in your hands, you're looking at $50 for 9 different stamps that are acrylic stamps, not photopolymer. Now, I haven't been a stamper long enough to really see the long-term impacts of an acrylic stamp versus a photopolymer stamp. I just know that when I'm buying stamps, the acrylic stamps are cheaper and the photopolymer is more expensive. I hear that the photopolymer gives you a crisper line, gives you a crisper image, and it's non-yellowing. So these might yellow over time. So it just surprised me that they used acrylic versus photopolymer, and yet the price was at, in my opinion, more than what a photopolymer stamp would cost. Okay, let's actually do some stamp testing of all of these. So we're going to start with the, I'm glad I'm doing this. Okay, so I pulled this guy out, haven't used it yet, and the piece of acrylic stamp is crooked. Can you see that? Now, in this particular case, it's not problematic because it's a circle. It's going to look like a circle no matter how you do it. But yeah, it's like glued on. So I'm just going to readjust it. This is the kind of thing that if you're a brand loyalist or you don't care too much about stamps, maybe that wouldn't bother you. But having spent $50, I'm like, actually, correction, I did not spend $50. I used some Lux Bucks to knock down the price. I used a $10 voucher, okay, using my Lux Bucks. So I ended up spending $40. So $40. So I'm kind of a little bummed that these are not totally glued down. So I think that's kind of, sorry, let me just check all of these really fast. This is going to be a longer video because I do take my time reviewing things and I want you guys to get my unedited, true impressions, candid impressions. Okay, so the other ones weren't so bad, but this one was definitely crooked. So let's stamp all of them and I'm going to tell you the way that it feels. So this is the circle. I'm just going to dab it. I want to make sure you guys can see me close enough. Okay, so let's start with the circle. I'm just going to dab it and punch it. So one thing that's an interesting design choice is that this is not cylindrical. I think that was a miss on their part. I don't know if they knew that Layle's exists and they didn't want to exactly copy her by doing the same shape, but hers is cylindrical on purpose. How frequently do you use a pen when you're writing that is square shaped versus cylindrical, circular? It's kind of hard to know. Do you do it like this or like this? It's a little awkward. I do think that gives a pretty good impression though. And just to kind of clear it off, I'm just going to stamp all the way across and clear it off. So first impression is automatically no bias, just judging the shape of the sticks. I prefer the stylus because it's round, because barrels of pens are round. This is a natural way to hold a stamping stylus, because what's so cool about the stick or the stylus idea is you can get these small detailed icons without having to fiddle with these small detailed icons. You can mimic the use of a pen, and it's not round like a pen, so I'm kind of bummed. Let's keep going. So we did the circular one, and now we're gonna do the asterisk. See, again, I'm like, do I do it like this? That gives that's a nice shape right there. That's nice. Sometimes with shapes like this, especially if it's really soft, like you can lose the detail of the star and you would have to push like ridiculously hard to blow it out. So I think that shape, the cut on that is quite nice. Now we're going to do I need to pay attention here with this one. So I'm going to look up and see the angle that's right. I want to keep going like this to do it, but it kind of starts to hurt my thumb. This is really uncomfortable. Let me try it just this way and to just relax. Let me just relax. I want to give it a good, how easy is it to, let's see if I can get this perfectly inside the dots. Let's do this like an actual list. Might be hard to get these lined up perfectly. Maybe you're not a type A person like I am, but I do try to get a nice even. They don't hold ink very well, so you're definitely gonna need to go back and forth to get, at least with this one, you're gonna wanna go back and forth. It is hard to tell where you're stamping, even with the directional cues with like the top and bottom. I love the stylus idea so much. Actually, I found LayleByMail because of Little Craft Fest, and I heard of her, and it was funny because I went to her website and I saw the stylus, and the stylus was something that I had been thinking about for a while. I'm like, why isn't there, when we get all these little calendar related stamps, because I was really getting into stamping and I had all these little like numbers for date stamping planners. I was like, why don't they make something that's like a pen so it's easy to hold on to these darn little stamps? And I saw it on our website and I immediately like fell in love. So I like the concept of a stylus, but I think the stick shape is it's a little weird. It's a little weird for me. And I'm genuinely trying to figure out like how to hold this. I guess this is the most comfortable with the 3. If you're able to rest your hand on the paper. That one I get maybe 2 stamps out of. Okay, so there's that. And you will, if you press too hard into the ink, you're going to collect ink around the stick itself. All right, and the last one is the check mark. Probably should have made this look a little bit cuter. I like the check mark. I think of all of the sticks, the check mark and the like star asterisk are my favorite. I think they look crisp and they're a nice shape. The other ones I'm not super duper pumped about, but I understand the shapes that they chose and why, creating a stamp set for the planner community. So immediate thoughts are, if you're brand new to stamping and you saw this on the website, I think this is a really great way to avoid purchasing stickers over and over again with these different icons. They add 0 bulk to your planning pages and, you know, they're reusable, right? So I think that's really handy. For someone that has a lot of stationery, I'm not really excited about having an extra box of items on my desk. So the packaging itself is not a draw for me, but it could be for someone who is a cloth and paper enthusiast and likes to have all of your cloth and paper stuff on display. I could see this being, you know, something that you really enjoy. So this is, I'm trying to show you size-wise. These are all the sticks. You have 9 sticks and 9 shapes. Now, and again, out the door, this is going to cost you $50, okay, for acrylic stamps that I think are not as good a quality as a photopolymer stamp. And the component itself is, for me, a little tricky to hold on to. But again, some people will pay the money because it's a cloth and paper item. Let's pivot over to this guy because it's the most like that. And then we'll talk about rubber options from an Etsy shop. So what originally brought on this battle was me being aware of the LayleByMail stylus. This is an acrylic stylus that is circular like a pen. And this has been out for 2 years. I don't know. I might ask Layle and update the description box. She can say how long this has existed for, but it's been around for a while. She sells it along with, you can buy like an acrylic set that comes with a couple of blocks, the stylus, and these guys, which kind of give you, again, something to hold on to that's not just flat like a standard block. But if you wanted something for some bigger stamps, bigger dimensions, you could get something like this. But this is what this is what really drew me into LayleByMail, was this specific stylus. Now before we go into her stamps, let me just show you the component comparison here. So the stylus from LayleByMail is going to be a little bit longer, and it's going to be maybe a little bit smaller. It's hard to tell because of the corners. But this, you know, it more mimics a pen, so it's easier to hold with that cylindrical design. So the way that her deal works is this stylus stick is $5. It's a $5 stylus. It's $4.99. Now, if you decide to pick this up, Joyful10, that's my discount code. Joyful10 will save you 10% off of that, okay? So with cloth and paper, you're not going to get a discount code unless you use your Lux Bucks. So again, $40, $10 shipping. but I used a $10 voucher and I got it for $30 plus $10 shipping. So discount code at LayleByMail, discount code not available at Cloth and Paper. So talking about cost, this is going to be obviously more affordable. So $4.99 for a nice acrylic block, or excuse me, acrylic stylus. This is the original stylus. Now, you can get this for $4.99, and then she sells 3 different list builder stamp sets. And these are going to be a little bit different, right? So Cloth and Paper made these for planners. Layle didn't make these list builder stamp sets for planners per se, but I do think that they're worth looking at, and the first set specifically is worth looking at. And I did mention to her that I would love to see a planner specific stamp set to go with the stylus. So the first list builder is this guy. Okay, we have numbers in 3 different fonts. We've got 3 different types of arrows, thumbs up, thumbs down. We've got some flags. We've got bullets. We've got hearts. We have stars, some flowers. We have a light bulb. We have a check mark, and we have an arrow. So just comparing. Oh, and we got the boxes. So this has more than I remembered, and we do have a star. So, yeah, that's an asterisk. So we have. Do we have solid box? Yes. Blank box? Yes. Do we have a flag? Not in the smaller style. We have a larger one. Do we have an arrow? Yes. Do we have an X? I don't see an X. Do we have a star or asterisk? Yes. Do we have a check? Yes. And then do we have dots? Yes. They're going to be different sizes. So pretty much the same exact shapes plus these other different icons. So this is List Builder Bullets and More. This is the original one that she came out with years ago. Then she came out with, I need to clean these, I apologize. Then she came out with List Builder Bullets and More 2. This one has some pets. We've got hearts. We've got weather and seasons, like a Christmas tree, a little Santa icon, a musical note, a shopping cart. Is that an airplane? We've got an airplane. We've got a push pin, a $, a cross, like if you label when you go to church. We've got a bat for Halloween. We've got a cassette tape and a pumpkin. We've got fruits and foods down here, glasses, clouds, little flippy floppies, a book icon. That is List Builder Bullets and More 2. That was the second version she came out with. And then the third version, the most recent one that she came out with, is Bullets and More 3. Way more detailed on these ones, maybe a little bit bigger as well with different foods. We've got like a water drop, a camera, little books. Here's another check mark and a different angle of push pin, some scissors, some mail, like Happy Mail, camping themed guys. We've got some little squirrels and raccoons, a trash, crock pot, a kettle, all kinds of different things on this one. And I do have a full stamp swatch video for LayleByMail. So if you're like, wait, what is this shop? I have videos for LayleByMail on my channel. I can leave a link down to my swatch video of overview of LayleByMail. I'll do that. I'll leave that link down below so that you can see all of the other stamps I have from her, and I can show you what these all look like swatched out. Okay. So these list builder stamps, I pulled up the price because I purchased these in multiple orders, so I couldn't remember. These are $12.99 per set. Okay. So if you just wanted the original because it's the most functional and the stylus, you're looking at $12.99 for this, $4.99 for this, the total being $17.98. I went into the shopping cart and I did all this to do the math. So $17.98, and then discount code for 10% off takes $1.79 off. And then shipping for this was $7.20. So that made the total $24.85 shipped to my house. So for half the price of this, you get this with 3 times as many. How many are on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's at least 50. Okay. So 50 stamps and 1 stylus versus 9 stamps. for half the price. So let's stamp these ones out. And maybe what we can do is actually compare. Let's do this. I want to do a true impression here. We're gonna just compare sizes, because I know the sizes are going to be different. I believe the cloth and paper ones said they were 1 centimeter. These ones, I did not write down what their dimension is. Oh, and one more thing when it comes to packaging. So some of you might like something like this to sit on your desk. I don't. I have a lot of stamps and a lot of stationery, and so I prefer something flat. So I like that the only thing that's like raised and thick is this. And these fit in a small size. This is a Hero Arts envelope, and I can fit all 3 stamp sets. I'm missing where are my little acrylic sheets here? I don't know. We'll just go this way. But I can fit, what is this, like 150 stamps and 1 stylus in a flat component that I can put like standing up in a bookshelf, which is actually how I store this. Or I can fit these guys in here with the stylus and the rubber stamps, and it's in a component just a little bit larger than this, and I can tuck this away. This is a Maple and Lark Bliss bin, but I can tuck this. Oh, there's some samples. I forgot I swatched them on this piece of paper. And I can slide it into my bookshelf. So just based on the amount of stationery I have, it's more economically prudent of me space-wise to have things laying flat. Okay, let's stop with the other piece of acetates in here. Okay, let's do some stamping. Let me just show you how this works. Now, sometimes I will, if I'm feeling fancy, or sometimes like my fingers start to act up like carpal tunnel-y, I do like to grab the stamps with tweezers. So you don't have to do that. You can pull them off yourself, but sometimes I will grab them with tweezers. So I want to grab the stamps that are the most similar. So I'm going to start with the first one. Let's see if we can just try to go in. We'll just go across in order. So the first one that I see is a solid guy. And all you do is you peel this off and you stick it down. Now there is a label on the stylus with a squirrel on it. Okay. And the idea is that the squirrel here is like your guide. I have 2 styluses, and one of them I didn't know that, and I peeled the sticker off. And then I heard, oh no, that's meant to be like the guide, because there's no right way up with this, right? It's just a solid piece of acrylic. And so, yeah, you do want to keep the sticker on it with the squirrel, because that's how you know when you put it down, like that's your guide. So I'm going to stick this on, and let's stamp it out. And we're going to go back and forth. Oh, I put these all out of order. My goodness. Okay, well, this will be fine. So we're going to start with the LayleByMail square. And it's just, I don't know. I think the thing that makes this easier is, let me try to even these up. It looks like, get in here. So I'm going to try to even it up so that the sticks are at the same place. Oh, I guess they look pretty similar. You can actually see the difference in materials. So the one on the left is the stick with the acrylic stamp. And the one on the right is the stylus with the photopolymer. See how that's kind of clouded on the left and clear on the right? For some reason, it makes it seem like this one is, actually it kind of is. Yeah. It looks like it's cut deeper on the stylus side versus the stick side. So you are going to have to remember where your finger is, and you're going to have to look on the side so that you can line it up. But because it looks like for some reason this stands out more from the stick, I can actually just turn my head slightly, or actually I'm not even turning my head, and I can see the shape. I can see the shape just fine, actually, from here. All right, so let's see size-wise. These are going to be different sizes, but I want to do a comparison. Actually, this is interesting. Let's do this too. So I'm going to equally apply pressure to both sides. and do a comparison this way too. So here you can see that there is excess ink on the stick that if you press hard enough, no, actually, this is why we're testing it out. It's just going to be on the outside. So you might get some ink transfer on your paper, but it's not going to transfer when you do the stamp. So that's good. Very good. Let me stamp this right next to this guy right there. Significantly smaller. Let me do them right next to each other one more time and try to do them straight. So there's that guy. And this guy. So there you can see the size difference. I'm going to kind of clean these off just by smushing them. There you can see the size difference between the squares. I'm going to do just a couple more comparisons, and then we'll move on to the rubber stamps and talk about the differences there. I just was tempted to peel this off. No, we do not want to peel that off. Okay, so now we're going to take this guy off and stick it back on. Now, a couple of these I've used quite a bit and they're coming off. If you're worried about these coming off and losing them, they just need the stickiness kind of put back on, and you do that by just gently washing them with like soapy water and let them air dry, and they'll get sticky again. So this arrow I can already tell is going to be larger than the cloth and paper one. So here is the LayleByMail arrow, and I'm just going to clean it off over here. And put it back, and let's take a look at the cloth and paper arrow. I think the stamp impression of the cloth and paper ones are just fine. No complaints there. Okay, much smaller. But this one is harder to get a... You have to be in a little bit more control with this one. If you push down too hard, it will blow it out. So you've got to be real gentle. Now, most people are going to do stamping with an arrow this way. So let's just do a comparison that way. Where did my arrow go? Oh, we've got this kind of arrow. Let's try this kind of arrow. Kind of like the look of this one, especially for a planner. So I'm just sticking this guy on. I totally understand that if you're not into stamping, this seems like more work. But if cost is a thing, then the amount and flexibility is a thing for you. I just don't think there's any option that's better than just one stick with 150 different flat little icons that you can change things out on. Let me see. Should we test one more? Let's test one more LayleByMail for comparison's sake. Oh, let's do the difference in the asterisks because they do look pretty different. So again, this is the cloth and paper one. Now that one did have a little bit of ink transfer from, and that looks like it's because the stamp is kind of cut jagged. I'll peel that part off. Okay. There we go. And let's see what the LayleByMail, the more like doodly asterisk looks like. I don't think I've used this one yet. I'm sure I've swatched it, but very curious about how this one compares. This one's definitely more of like a doodle. And this one will blow out if you push too hard. So I think the cloth and paper asterisk is easier to control. With this one, oh, see how it gets better if you just don't press as hard. So this is going to come down to personal preference. I like the shape of the asterisk on the cloth and paper one more, but that is personal preference. We do have, we have like a little star here. Let's see, or not star. This is a flower. Curious what the, ooh, that's cute. So, wow, that's very cute. Oh, I like this flower more than the asterisk on the cloth and paper. It's a little bit larger, but it still fits inside the dimensions of the Archer and Olive dot grid. Okay, so that was kind of an overview of did I mention that the LayleByMail ones are photopolymer? So they're going to last longer. They're not going to yellow. Let me grab just a couple of other designs just to show why I think the variety is nice with the LayleByMail. For those of you that don't know, I'm a believer, so I go to church. And so I like the cross icon for church activities. So I just like, here's some other kind of icons that are not, you know, in the cloth and paper set. And you get so much more options. Let's do the book. A lot of people like to read. Okay, so here's the book icon. You're going to pop that guy on, ink it up, and press it down. So if you like to log every day, like the books you read, the pages you read, again, how hard you push is going to impact how crisp the image is. So don't press super hard. But look at that. That is really cute. I'll pull the page up when I'm done with some of these samples. Let's see. Let's say you are flying somewhere and you want to have a cute little icon. You don't want to use a sticker. Well, the cross, the book, and the airplane is in the List Builder Bullets and More 2. So this is the volume 2 version. Love that. Look at the size of that. It's perfect. Love that. So just wanted to show how cool it is and how like the possibilities are endless when it comes to getting into stamping with or stamping in your planner. Here's a popular one that I bet people would use stickers, type of image that people would put in their planners. It's a pencil. Cute, right? So if you want a little pencil, you could do that to kind of mark a note section. Let's say you're editing. Maybe you are a content creator and you want to somehow show that you're editing. Look at these scissors. Are you getting a haircut? Little icon of scissors. Again, the harder you push, the more blown out it's going to be. But you've got some scissors. Let me see if there's any other cool kind of planner related ones. Oh, the thumbtack. I did want to try the thumbtack. This is a popular sticker icon that is not in the cloth and paper one. This is a thumbtack. So if you wanted to do like noted, take note. Then you want to get fancy. It's no less work for me pulling out a sheet of this and this stylus than, you know, that guy. It's kind of, you know, it's not more work doing it this way, in my opinion. But there you have like a cute little pin there, or tack. Let's say you got paid. Got a payday? Cool. Maybe you want like a ka-ching $sign. Add that to your little stylus. Bam. And that was also in List Builder 2. Let's see. Let's say you had a terrible day and you just want to say like, started my period. Started my period. Ugh. Wouldn't you love a little hashtag? Just to add a little bit of zhuzh at the end of the day. Hashtag UGG. It's cute. Okay, so that was List Builder 2, just a sampling of additional options for your planners. Let me take a look at List Builder 3 to see if there's any ones that kind of stand out to me. I do try to crock-pot as much as I can, so I could do the crock-pot. Let's do the check mark and the balloon, because let's say you want to mark, you're a minimalist, but you want to mark that you got something done or that it's somebody's birthday. Check, check, or your top 3 priorities. There you go with your checks. And then let's say it's your mom's birthday, but you're a minimalist. You go, Mom, Ma's B-Day, but you want it to be cute. Let's grab the balloon icon, put it on the stylus, ink it up, and drop it down. Bam. You got little balloons. So that is the LayleByMail system with the 3 different sets of List Builder stamps and the 1 stylus. Now I want to show the 3rd option and talk to you about sizing and pricing. It's a little bit different because we're getting away from the acrylic sticks and styluses and photopolymer and acrylic stamps, and we're going to jump into rubber stamps. Rubber stamps are super hardy. They just feel like, I don't know, they stand the test of time. Everyone loves a good old-fashioned rubber stamp. The next set or style I want to share as an option to compare is from MandBShop. I think they are fully called Merry and Bright. Okay, MandBShop. I will leave all 3 shops linked down below. Merry and Bright Shop. They're located in Germany, and they have over 1,000 rubber stamps. And in each of their designs, they have them in 3 different diameters. I think it's diameter. Yeah. 1.1 centimeter, 1.5 centimeter, and 2 centimeter. And depending on the size that you pick, the price is going to change. So let me see if I can find, do I have any ones that are, I wonder if I have, I don't know if I have 3 sizes of the same item. Let's see, we have a scale. Do we have a smaller scale? Got these little guys. Hold on. Got different books. Let's see, got a fitness watch. Let's grab some all fitness related ones, just so we're cohesive. Or maybe book related ones. I need one big one. Hold on. Is that a big one? No. We could do all book related ones. How about that? If I have a small book themed one. Maybe I don't. Okay, we're going to have to change things up. Actually, wait. Hold on a second. Let's do household related ones. Let's see, shopping cart. No, those are going to be, there's so many, guys. I'm just trying to find variants of sizes. Actually, here, I have 2 different sizes of the shots. So let's do those ones. And then let's do book, let's say audiobook. Actually, we're going to change things up. We're going to do fitness watch, gym, or like dumbbell, and then we're going to do the book ones. I've got a television. I should have thought about this first. Like, which ones am I going to grab? I don't have very many of the functional, but I will also grab the functional ones. got a shoe. Let's do a shoe. Let's do the shoe and the weight, and then we'll just do those 2 books and then 2 different shapes. Oh, this is another shape that's larger. Okay. So let's talk about the component itself. All of the different ones from M&B in this style are rubber stamps on wood blocks. I'm counting them in the stylus video because they are longer and you hold them. They're easier to hold than a standard acrylic, like a stamping block. They have a stick-like thing to it, which is why I'm counting them in this. So they have so many different types of blocks that you 100%, even though I don't have them, will have all of these functional icons seen in the cloth and paper and in the LayleByMail. So the largest blocks, the 2 centimeter, these ones, do I have a 2 centimeter? Maybe I don't have a 2 centimeter. I don't think I have a 2 centimeter. The 2 centimeter is $4.03. The 1.5 centimeter, which is this medium size, $3.17. And then the 1.1 centimeter, the smallest, $2.32. Now, I've placed 2 orders with them. I went back to my order from last year. I bought 14 stamps in my second order, 14 stamps, and the total was $37.80. I paid $11.88 for shipping because they're in Germany, so you're going to pay more for shipping. And then tax was $3.79. So that put my total $37.47. I mean, pretty close to $50 for 14 stamps. So for the same price as the cloth and paper, I got 14 stamps of various designs where I got to pick and choose what icons were on the stamp, and I got to pick and choose what diameter I wanted, what size I wanted, and I spent about $50 for 14 different styles. Now, I have not shopped from them since taxes and tariffs came into play with imports into the US, so I can't speak to any of that. You'll have to ask them. But I thought that $11.88 for shipping from Germany and $10 shipping from cloth and paper in the US was an interesting piece of info. I wish everybody, I mean, I hate paying shipping. Anybody else feel that way? It's just like one of those things that nobody likes to do it. So I'm always paying attention to the cost of shipping. There have been so many times where I have not purchased something because I didn't want to pay for shipping, which is ridiculous, but I guess speaks to how badly I really wanted something. So the rubber stamps on the wood blocks from MandBShop, you're going to see that they're not cut as tall as the acrylic version. So here you can see again how tall it rises on the left and then how flat it is on the right. I don't love that about the rubber option, the M&B ones, because if you press into the ink too much, you will get ink on the outer pad and that will transfer to the paper. So I am gonna just be gentle. Here is the drop, and I do like that they have the image on the top so you know very clearly like where things are going. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And just, you know, as you angle it, you're gonna change the direction. Now, this could work on a planner spread if you're tracking like water intake. If you wanted to do multiple drops for how much water you drink in a day. And this is hollowed out, right? So you could fill it in. So I thought this would be a good functional one. This, I also thought would be a fun functional one. This is in the smallest size and I think it's pretty large. So some people might not like the dimensions of this one. This is harder to figure out like which way you want it to go. This one I don't use very often because I think it's too big. So I think if you're wanting to do more stamping of icons in your planner, I think the M&B ones are only good for specialty. I probably wouldn't do it for everyday functional. the LayleByMail and the cloth and paper ones, that being that smaller size, like these smaller ones are so much better, especially for like daily planning. But if you want to mark something a little bit more large and in charge, these are really easy to use. Very easy to use. They're just going to be a little bit bigger. So that, excuse me, is the medium size. Let's say you have a section in your planner for running. This one's a really nice impression. I think that's really nice. If you did like running tracking, you could do that in your planner. I'm using brown ink. I think I probably should have used black, but it is what it is. Let's say you wanted to do book reading. Got these guys. And here you can see a comparison. I'll pull the page up in a second, but a comparison between the LayleByMail icon and then the M&B in the medium 1.5 centimeter dimension. And I'm just, every time I use any of these stamps, I'm rubbing it off over on this piece of paper. That's just how I'm cleaning it off for now. Then this might be nice on a smaller scale. Yeah, this is good. This is the kind of gym one, the dumbbell. And obviously, if you push hard and then you push hard, you're going to get a transfer of the circle. So that's one thing to keep in mind. If you opt for the rubber ones, you got to be careful with the amount of pressure you lay down. I think this stamp is really cool. This is for audiobooks, if you're logging your audiobook. Very nice. So you might be wondering, okay, what's the point of this video, Elizabeth? Fair enough. My point is that I saw a company come out with a new product and it might get some new people interested in stamping in your planners. And because I have these other options, these other icons, these other materials, I thought, you know, I should share that it's being done, and it's been done, it's being done, and you have so much variety. At the end of the day, if you love the aesthetic of the box, you love the aesthetic of the stamps, then by all means, like, go with the cloth and paper ones. But if you're actually, you want to start getting deeper into stamping in your planner, this is going to be the way to go because of the price point and the fact that you get so many more icons that you can add to your planner. And I just know that a lot of people in the planner community aren't following what's happening in the scrapbook community or the journaling community, the creative community, and you might not know that this is an option. And one of the things I do here is I share new product, I review product, and I just want to expose people to all the things so that we can all live a more creative life. And so showing you guys these other options is to just kind of widen everybody's perspective on what's out there. So the MandBShop, did I finish everything I want to say? Yeah, over 1,000 options in the rubber stamp version. I store these in a small maple and lark bliss bin. I like the bliss bins because they're a sturdy plastic and they can fit a lot of stamps. You can do a little swatch page in it so you know what stamps are inside. And actually, let me just show you this. This is the List Builder 2 stamp set, the LayleByMail one. So you can see all the different icons in List Builder 2 on this one. See how small they are? That's actually really... That's a good swatch for you to see how many more options there are for stamping. Let's pull this guy up because I said I would. So here is the cloth and paper stamp and the LayleByMail stamp. So definitely smaller. I'd like to see Layle do some small, excuse me, some smaller ones because I think the cloth and paper size is nice and petite. I do think that is nice. These are the cloth and paper arrows, small and petite. Again, the LayleByMail is a little bit larger. She didn't design these for planners, but maybe she will make a planner set in the future where everything's kind of shrunk a little bit. But notice that this is the first list builder stamp, like the first set. Then we start looking at some of these other icons like this thumbtack, this arrow. Actually, this arrow was the original. This pencil, this book, this airplane, this flower. These were on the second and third bullets and more, this cross and the scissors. So her icons did get smaller as she got into the other list builder sets. So I think that if you're looking for the most variety, it's better to get one stylus and then pick out the icon sets that make the most sense to you. If you want the basic ones, go with List Builder 1. If you want smaller icons, maybe look at List Builder 2 and 3. And then you have, if you have like a little pouch, a little stationery pouch or something, you'll be able to take this on the go, especially if you have a smaller like ink pad, maybe not this one, but smaller ink pad that's like, you know, a little square. These will fit into one little envelope and you've got your stamping on the go versus the box situation. And then if you prefer a rubber stamp, old school, then the M&B ones are great. You pay for exactly the icon that you want in the size that you want, because these are purchased a la carte, one at a time. So I think that is everything. If you have any questions, please let me know. I think at the end of the day, everyone's going to purchase what they want and what makes the most sense for you. And that is exactly what I want you guys to do. I just wanted to make sure that I showed 3 different options, because I love, love, love that people are starting to stamp in their planners. It's something I've been doing for a while, and I just, it's so fun, and I want more people to be doing it. And now you have 3 different options, 3 different ways, 3 different price points to start stamping in your planners. So I said at the beginning, this was a battle of the styluses. I'm not going to declare a winner, because I think it's all going to come down to personal preference. If you are looking for aesthetics, if you're looking for things kind of matching your current collection and you're like a diehard cloth and paper person, then this is going to be the one to go. This is going to be the go-to. If you want the ultimate in flexibility and have almost a limitless variety of icons to choose from with one component instead of 9, and a lower price point, then you'll want to go with the LayleByMail. And if you want to be able to pick and choose exactly what icon you want and not pay for anything more, anything less, then you might like, and you like prefer a rubber stamp, then you might like the MandBShop one that's on Etsy. But again, you'll want to look into tariff stuff because this is a company in Germany, Etsy shop in Germany. I will leave all 3 shops linked down below. I will leave, if I have an affiliate link or a discount code for any of the shops, I will leave that down below. And I think that's all I can say for now. So come hang out with me over on Instagram. My handle is The Joyful Sojourn. And if you want to hang out with me again, I sure hope that you do. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Until next time, friends, God bless you. God bless you and keep you do something creative today. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.